الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلق من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. وقال يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Alhamdulillah. Today I am going to mention about the signs of the last day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created all this creation, the earth, the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, human beings, malaika, birds and sea creatures, everything. And this is going to last for a long time, but ultimately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to destroy the whole thing. A time is going to come, everything will disappear, destroyed completely. So that's the day of Qiyamah when everything is going to be completely destroyed. One time Rasulullah ﷺ came and saw the Sahaba very worried and discussing something. And he came along and said, what are you talking about? They say, we are talking about the Qiyamah, the last day is going to come. He said, the last day will not come till there are 10 signs that are going to come. And then he explained all the 10 signs to them. And it's difficult to remember how many these signs are. So for me, I calculated an easy way. There are going to be 3 earthquakes. But these earthquakes are not going to be like normal earthquakes. These are going to be major, major earthquakes. And one earthquake in the east, one in the west, and one in the Arabic Peninsula area. Huge, huge earthquakes. So these 3, if you remember, these are counted as 3. And then the 3, I remember, starts with the letter D or Da. Dajjal, Dukhan, Dabatulas. Dukhan is a huge smoke, fog. Sometimes we are driving and we see a bit of fog, so we have to put the headlights on. So, but this fog is going to be so severe, you put any type of lights, you can't be able to see anything. And this fog is not going to be limited to one area, because when you're driving, you see this is a foggy area, and once you pass that area, it's clear. But this fog is going to be on the entire world at one time. The whole world will have this fog, smoke. So Dukhan, and there is also a surah Dukhan, chapter 44, and this is explained in ayah number 10 of that surah. There's going to be a Dukhan. Dukhan, Dajjal is the Antichrist who is going to come before Isa alayhi salam comes. And Dabatulas is an animal which is going to come out of the Safa Marwa area and is going to speak. Not only speak, but he's going to say who is a Muslim and who is a Kafir. These are given in the books of Hadith. And these, I am explaining the Hadith. This is in Sahih Muslim, Jami Tirmizi, Abu Dawud and Nisai. 4 books of Hadith I mentioned this. So these are the 3. And also the 4 other points are to be Yajuj, Majuj, Gog and Magog, and Isa alayhi salam. And the sun is going to rise from the west. That is the only day. Instead of the sun rising from the east, the sun is going to rise from the west. And that is a very, very difficult day, because once the sun comes out from the west, the doors of Tawbah will be closed. So anybody who has not done Tawbah before that day, the sun comes out from the west, doing Tawbah, the Tawbah is not going to be accepted. So Yajuj, Majuj, Isa alayhi salam, and the sun arising from the west, and the last thing is going to be a severe fire in Yemen that is going to move everybody from that area towards Sham, that is Syria. These are the signs given. The only thing we have to fear is about Dajjal, because Dajjal, the Antichrist, the people, when Isa alayhi salam came, the Ahl Kitab, they rejected because they were waiting for the Messiah. They said, promised Messiah is going to come, who is going to rule the whole world. And at that time, they didn't want to accept Isa alayhi salam as a prophet. They said, no, we are waiting for the promised Messiah. So when Dajjal comes, these are the people who are going to say, yes, you are the one which is the promised Messiah, but that's Antichrist. He is going to claim that he is Isa, but he is going to do lots and lots of things. The control of the rain, and then he is going to travel from one area to the other area. And he's going to, the hadith says that he's going to cut a human being in two parts and then going to join together, and that person is going to speak. These are the things given about the Dajjal. So we have to be very, very careful. And the only thing Rasulullah mentioned is that to protect ourselves from the evils of Dajjal is to recite Suratul Kahf on the Friday. So today is a Friday. If you have done, mashallah, very good. If not, please recite Suratul Kahf, and that is going to be a protection against the evils of Dajjal. Because Dajjal is going to show so many miracles or so many magic tricks people is going to accept. At what time? He is going to say that he is promised Messiah, and ultimately when all the people will see all his magic tricks and so on, afterwards he is going to declare that, no, I am the God, astaghfirullah, na'uzubillah. And people to say that people accept me as your God. So these are the things mentioned in the books of hadith, about 10 signs which I have mentioned to you. The other thing for us to remember is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when in hadith of Jibreel, which I mentioned some time ago, then Jibreel salam came and asked questions about akhbirni al-iman, akhbirni al-islam, akhbirni al-ihsan, akhbirni al-sa'ar. When is the last day is going to come? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the person asking the question to the person is replied, are equal in the knowledge that they don't know. But he asked for the signs. What are going to be the signs? This time, Rasulullah mentioned 2 signs which are going to happen long time before the day of Qiyamah, because these are going to happen earlier. But the 10th sign I mentioned, that's going to come nearer the time of the Qiyamah. The 2 signs where Rasulullah mentioned to Jibreel is that, one is that the slave woman is going to give birth to the master. This is nowadays happening, which we are seeing that the parents, and especially the mother, is very, very careful about how the children are behaving. As the slave girl on the olden days used to be worried about the treatment from the masters. So nowadays, some places happening, the mother is worried in case if the children are going to upset. So cooking the food, looking after them, making sure that they are not upset. So this is the second thing he mentioned about the barefoot shepherds who used to travel looking after the camels are going to build buildings, long buildings, tall towers. Not only that, but they are going to compete with each other. That if you have built a tall tower, I will build the tower taller than you. And this we are seeing in Middle East what is happening. That before the oil came, these people who barefoot shepherds who are looking after the camels, now they have got so much money, they are constructing buildings. Not only once they construct the building, the second group says that, oh, you have built this tower, the highest tower, I am going to build a tower higher than this. So this is going to happen. So we have to be seeing the things which are mentioned in hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One thing I want to mention is that after this one, Rasulullah sallam came to Sahaba again. They were sitting and talking about, and with worried faces. He said, "What are you worried now?" They said, "We are worried about Dajjal. He's going to come," and so on and so forth. But anyhow, we mentioned about the Surah Kahf. Then also he said, "Shall I warn you about something which is even worrying than the Dajjal you are worried?" They said, "Yes, of course." He said, "Shirk-e-khafi." The hidden shirk, be careful about that, that is worse. Then they asked, "What is this?" And he explained to them, shirk is very, very difficult to see. He said, it's very difficult to know you are committing the shirk because it is hidden shirk. Because outside shirk, if you mention anything, everybody will know. But shirk-e-khafi, the hidden shirk, is very, very difficult to find out. And the example was given, which is very, very important for us to remember. Doing things, anything, any good deeds you are doing, it is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. Your intention will be this: you are doing the good deed, any ibadah, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to show off. That becomes riya or showing off. He said, shirk-e-khafi is something which don't even know that you are committing. And the example is given that you perform the first salah, and afterwards you are performing the nafil salah. While you are performing the nafil salah, there is a person doing the same nafil salah next to you. And when you do the ruku, you say Subhana Rabbiyal Azim 3 times. And in the sajda, Subhana Rabbiyal Ala 3 times. But when you are praying this next to this person's salah is very, very with khushu and khuzu. He goes to the ruku, a long ruku, not 3 times, 5 times, or even more. He does the sajda, long sajda, 5 times or more. Then you have done 1 rakat, you finish 1 rakat, and the second rakat, you are feeling that his ruku and sajda are so long. So you try it, instead of 3 times, make it 5 times. The ruku is Subhana Rabbiyal Azim 5 times. And in the sajda, Subhana Rabbiyal Ala 5 times. And the question was asked that on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask, "Oh my servant, you did this salah to please me, and 3 times Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, and 3 times Subhana Rabbiyal Ala. That was your routine. And you saw the man doing longer, so you increase 3 to 5. So the 3, you said Subhana Rabbiyal Azim and Subhana Rabbiyal Ala are for me. And the 2 extra you said, that is for the person standing next to you. So you have joined 2 people, 2 persons during your salah to please. So this is called shirk-e-khafi. It's very, very, very difficult to find out. I just gave the example which was given, but during our prayers or doing any good deeds, whatever ibadah you are doing, just remember that, are we doing anything to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only? Because in Surah Al-Fatiha we say, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. We just do the prayers only for you, and we seek help from you. But in your practical life, if your ibadah is becoming a show-off, giving charity to show people, or if people helping people to make sure somebody else is looking what I am doing, or then if you are asking for any help, are you asking the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or from somebody who has got power and authority, and never ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you for this problem? So this is the important points I wanted to mention. This is just a reminder. Please make sure that we do the ibadah to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The hadith which Imam Bukhari, who compiled Sahih Bukhari, he has selected the most important hadith to start his book. The first hadith he mentioned, innamal a'malu bin niyat. Whatever you are doing depends on your niyyah, your intention. So that is the message I wanted to give. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us guidance to perform the salah and the dua to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصرنا أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save the Muslimin from the zulm of the Zalimin, especially in Palestine and Kashmir and everywhere all the Muslim Ummah is going through the trials and tribulations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our dua. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون واذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأجل وأتم وأكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقيموا الصلاة